He took his girlfriend to a five-star hotel, but froze. When his wife walked in as the new owner, he walked into the city's most luxurious five-star hotel, holding his girlfriend's hand tightly, thinking tonight was his night of freedom and desire. As he reached the counter to book a room, everything seemed perfect, until the grand doors opened. His breath caught. The new owner of the hotel had just entered, and to his shock, it was none other than his wife. His world spun as she walked closer, her eyes locking onto him and the woman beside him. What happened next when she caught them together will leave you speechless. But before we reveal this unbelievable twist, make sure to subscribe, like, and share our channel for more gripping stories. For years, Daniel was known as a successful businessman in the city. To outsiders, he looked like the perfect man. Sharp suits, a luxury car, and a wife who supported him through thick and thin. Her name was Clara. She wasn't born into wealth, but her resilience and intelligence made her shine. While Daniel chased risky ventures and flaunted his success, Clara stayed quietly in the background, building her own dreams. What no one knew was that Clara had been working on something extraordinary. She had taken small savings, partnered with old friends, and invested in properties that others ignored. She didn't brag, she didn't compete, she simply worked. Daniel, on the other hand, was blinded by ego. He loved attention, power, and the thrill of being admired. But behind the scenes, his marriage had begun to rot. He craved excitement, and eventually he found it in the form of a younger woman. A woman who flattered his ego, who made him feel like the powerful man he thought he was. And so Daniel began living a double life. Devoted husband at home, reckless cheater outside. He thought his wife would never know. He thought she was too quiet, too busy, too trusting. But he had no idea that Clara was not only aware of his behavior, but she was also silently preparing for the day the truth would burn everything down. That day arrived when Daniel stepped into the five-star hotel, thinking he was in control. But fate had other plans. It was a Friday night, the kind Daniel lived for. He picked up his girlfriend in his sleek car, wearing his best watch and most charming smile. The plan was simple. Check into the most prestigious hotel in town, spend the night indulging in luxury, and return to his wife the next day with an excuse already rehearsed. The hotel itself was breathtaking, gleaming marble floors, chandeliers that sparkled like diamonds, and a staff trained to treat guests like royalty. Daniel strutted through the lobby with the pride of a man who believed nothing could touch him. His girlfriend clung to his arm, impressed by his connections and wealth. He walked up to the counter, smirking as he handed over his card to book a suite. The receptionist greeted him warmly, but before she could process the booking, something shifted in the air. The revolving doors at the entrance spun open, and everyone in the lobby turned. A woman walked in, radiating authority. She wasn't just a guest. Her presence commanded the entire room. Staff members straightened, whispers filled the air, and Daniel felt a strange chill crawl down his spine. Then he saw her face. It was Clara, his wife. For a moment, he thought it was a nightmare, a cruel trick of the mind. But no, it was her. And in that instant, a staff member rushed to her side saying, "Welcome, Mrs. Rivera. Congratulations on becoming the new owner of the hotel." Daniel's jaw dropped. His girlfriend looked at him in confusion, not understanding why his face had gone pale. Clara's eyes swept the room, cold and unflinching, until they landed on her husband. Her husband standing hand in hand with another woman. The silence that followed was suffocating. Guests in the lobby noticed the tension. Staff exchanged glances, and Daniel realized, in front of everyone, that his carefully hidden secret was about to explode. Clara didn't raise her voice. She didn't cry or shout. Instead, she walked forward with the calmness of a queen addressing her subjects. Her heels echoed against the marble floor, each step making Daniel's heart pound harder. She stopped only a few feet away from him. For a second, no words were spoken, only the weight of betrayal hanging in the air. Then, in a tone icy and sharp, she asked the receptionist to cancel Daniel's booking. Gasps rippled through the lobby. His girlfriend quickly pulled her hand away, realizing the man she thought was powerful was nothing more than a liar caught in the spotlight. Daniel tried to speak, but his words stumbled. He mumbled excuses, but Clara didn't flinch. Instead, she turned to the hotel staff and issued a command. "Make sure this man is never welcomed here again." Her voice carried not anger, but finality. In that single moment, Daniel's empire of lies collapsed. His girlfriend stormed off, embarrassed and furious at being part of such a humiliating scene. Guests stared, whispering about the scandal, and Daniel stood frozen, his pride shattered, unable to comprehend how his wife had risen so high, while he had fallen so low. He had thought of her as just the quiet woman behind him, never realizing she was strong enough to build her own kingdom. And now, that kingdom had become the stage of his downfall. Resolution and impact. 13:15 minutes 400 words. That night, Daniel left the hotel not as the powerful man he pretended to be, but as a broken shadow of himself. He returned home to find his bags already packed, his accounts frozen, and legal papers waiting for him. Clara had been planning this moment for months. She had known about his affairs, but she chose patience over confrontation. She waited until she held every card in her hand. The city soon learned of the scandal. Business partners distanced themselves, investors pulled out, and Daniel's once-praised name became synonymous with disgrace. Meanwhile, Clara flourished. The hotel she had purchased became a symbol, not just of luxury, but of resilience. Guests admired the woman who rose silently, endured betrayal, and still came out stronger. For Daniel, the lesson was brutal, but undeniable. Wealth can buy rooms in a hotel, but it cannot buy respect, loyalty, or love. And when arrogance blinds a man, he often fails to see the quiet strength of the woman beside him. For Clara, the night was not about revenge. It was about reclaiming her power, her dignity, and her future. And for everyone who heard the story, one haunting question remained. If the person you underestimate the most suddenly rose higher than you ever imagined, how would you face them? So the next time you take loyalty for granted, remember Daniel's downfall. Because sometimes the quietest people in the room hold the loudest victories.